So, what happens when a furniture store decides it wants to be more like, say, a five-star resort or a high-fashion brand? Well, that's exactly what RH, the company you probably remember as Restoration Hardware, is trying to pull off. We've dug deep into their annual report to really unpack what might be one of the boldest strategies in retail today.
Right off the bat, you need to forget everything you think you know about this brand. Seriously, their own corporate documents tell a story that has way less to do with just selling couches and a lot more to do with something much, much bigger. And this number right here, this is what it's all about. $25 billion. That's their target. To give you some perspective, that is more than the yearly revenue of Tiffany & Co. and Prada combined. We are not talking about small, steady growth here. This is a play for total market domination.
This is straight from their mission statement. It's pretty ambitious, right? But how in the world do you go from selling home furnishings to actually shaping global taste? Well, the answer is in a strategy that starts by completely rethinking the whole idea of what a store even is.
Okay, so part one of their master plan is to make their physical locations so incredible that they basically become destinations all on their own. This is where we start to see the blueprint for their luxury world really take shape.
I mean, just look at these numbers. They're not just making their stores bigger, they are completely changing the scale of their retail footprint. These massive design galleries are more than 4 times the size of the old stores. They're building what they hope are basically giant fortresses that online shopping just can't compete with.
So, how do you compete with the convenience of just clicking a button online? You offer something you can't get on a website. They're turning their stores into these social hubs, complete with restaurants and wine bars, to get you to come in, hang out, experience the brand, and, ultimately spend more money.
And this is not some cookie-cutter expansion plan. No way. They are being super specific, targeting different slices of the luxury market. You've got these huge statement-making galleries in big cities like New York and Paris, and then more intimate, exclusive spots where their target customers actually live and go on vacation.
But these incredible stores, they're really just the beginning. The next phase of this whole plan is to build an entire RH ecosystem, a world of luxury so complete that their customers never even have to leave it.
You can really see their ambition laid out right here. It's like they're climbing a ladder. They start with products, then they move to creating places, and the ultimate goal is to curate entire spaces and lifestyles. It's a huge shift from just being a retailer to becoming a full-service luxury platform.
And of course, this ecosystem has global ambitions. They're looking at the European luxury market and seeing something that's kind of old-fashioned, maybe a little fragmented. They think it's perfectly ripe for a modern, all-in-one brand like RH to come in and make a huge splash.
Now, to really cement their status as a true luxury player, they are jumping into hospitality and travel. And this includes, believe it or not, a fleet of private jets, all designed to give you the ultimate RH experience at 40,000 feet.
And hey, if a private jet isn't quite exclusive enough for you, there's also the RH3, a luxury yacht that you can charter. Now, this isn't just some marketing gimmick. It's a way for them to weave the RH brand into the most aspirational parts of their customers' lives.
So, from a historic estate in Napa Valley to private jets and yachts, RH is carefully crafting a world where every single touchpoint just screams luxury. They're not just selling you things, they're selling you a dream. But as we're about to see, building a dream on this scale comes with some very, very real risks.
It's an absolutely incredible vision. But if you start reading the fine print in their financial reports, you'll find a very different story. One that's all about the major challenges that are standing in their way. Yeah, the risk factors section of their annual report, it provides a pretty sobering reality check to all the glossy marketing. So let's break down the biggest threats to their $25 billion dream.
One of their biggest vulnerabilities is actually hidden in their supply chain. A whopping 69% of their products are made in Asia, which means they are significantly dependent on just one region for almost everything they sell.
That heavy reliance on Asia really exposes them to a ton of risks, from trade wars to shipping problems. On top of that, they're also vulnerable to economic downturns that could hit luxury spending, and they're dealing with the huge costs of all those ambitious real estate projects.
And this is what creates this really fascinating tension. On one side, you have this soaring, aspirational vision of a global tastemaker building a luxury ecosystem. And on the other, you have the cold, hard reality of a business that's super exposed to global trade shocks and real estate risks.
So who is this grand vision really for?
Well, it all comes down to a surprisingly small but incredibly valuable group of customers, the 262,000 members of the RH Loyalty Program. This elite group is the engine of the whole company, driving an incredible 97% of their core business.
So that's the ultimate gamble, isn't it? RH is betting everything on this one big idea, that they can build a luxury empire that touches every single part of their customers' lives. The multi-billion-dollar question is, are they building the future of luxury, or are they building a magnificent palace on a foundation of sand?